evangelism is, right at the center of your heart, I know,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
leadership is at the center of your heart. And I think it's really good to ask the question, how is evangelism central to helping students become effective leaders, in your opinion?
Yeah. Well, I think it's twofold. Number one, obviously, evangelism is the pathway in which we see students experience death to life moments, right? Those who were saved, or excuse me, those
Mm,
who are lost become saved through evangelism. So, obviously, as a Christ follower, as a leader, um, as someone who wants to see the gospel preached to the four corners of the earth, evangelism, in my humble opinion, is essential to that, right? And
mm,
so, but it's the first pathway. It is one, again, to see death to life experience, but then also the evangelized in turn, Greg, should become the evangelist, right? And
mm,
so I believe that we've all been saved to be sent. And so,
mm.
as the Lord allows us to have those death to life moments, and we've been saved, and we've experienced the gospel for ourselves, man, in turn, there should be a hunger and a passion and a desire for everyone that you come in contact to experience the same thing that you've experienced. So I think, as a Christ follower, as a believer, Greg, I
Mm.
think evangelism is essential,
Yeah.
and I would say a non-negotiable in my humble
Mm.
opinion. I think it is.
Well, and as you think about what I've noticed, in doing Dare to Share, I actually find urban youth leaders much more in tune with the strategic importance of evangelism than suburban youth leaders for whatever reason.
Hmm.
We've
Yeah.
done trainings. I remember going to uh, the Bronx and doing a training
Hmm.
with, and they were all volunteer youth leaders. I don't think there's a
Yeah.
full time. They were there taking notes, asking questions. How do we implement? Because for them, it
Hmm.
wasn't youth ministry is not at all about the fun and games. It was about
Nah, man.
saving lives and giving
Yeah.
hope. And I don't know if
Yeah.
that's your experience as a urban youth leader,
Oh,
but
yeah, 100%. We always say as urban leaders that our students are in what we call survival mode. Man, I mean, students in my context where my church was, many of them, Greg, have never been out of their zip code, their block.
mm,
All they know is their hood, their area, their context. And for many of the students, that came through my youth group, graduated from high school, for many of them, it's like getting a PhD, right? And
mm,
so when you have single family household, low income families, a lot of truancy issues, gang, drug violence, man. I mean, we want our kids to just survive. Now, it's not all of them, but there are many in
yeah,
our context who, man, we're just trying to get them to experience hope and to see life through a different lens. And so evangelism for me as an urban leader, many of my colleagues, my urban ministry colleagues, man, it was an essential to the survival as an urban youth leader. Man, if
mm,
you're not doing evangelism, if you're not see, because if you're not giving an urban kid hope, it's going to
yeah,
be hard to help them go deeper in their faith walk, because for many of them, man, they're just trying to make it through the next 24 hours, right? And you're
yeah,
trying to give me this discipleship track on how to become a fully devoted follower of Jesus Christ. Bro, I'm just trying to eat today. I'm trying to
yeah,
survive today. I'm trying to
yeah.
make it today. And I've watched my brothers, sisters, family members, loved one be taken from me in the most um,
Mm,
most horrific way possible, man. And you want me to go through this discipleship track? Nah, man. And so for many of us, and especially my experience, man, evangelism was very much a part of the strategy for how we help our students in our context find hope.
mm. I think that's so true, Jeff. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day about lottery tickets, and I said, rich people don't scratch. They don't. They don't go. It's not rich people buying lotto tickets. It's poor people
Yeah.
because they're scratching for hope. And
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of urban kids. I was one of those kids that
Mm-hmm.
scratching for hope, not lotto tickets, but looking for it somewhere.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah,
the
man.
gospel, man, it addresses. Identity, belonging, and purpose. Identity
Yep.
as a child of God, belonging in a crew. You got a crew, the family of God, a
Yeah.
purpose, and also destination. Like, I know I'm going to
Yep.
heaven. I'm not
Yes.
afraid of dying. You know, and for
Yep.
me, I almost died several times as an inner city kid through various circumstances. But I was, once I knew Christ, I was not afraid to die, which is, that's a bigger deal when you actually could die
Hmm.
in a
Yeah.
in a in a setting, an urban setting, some
Yeah.
high crime rate area, urban setting anyway,
Yeah.
where that can happen.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah, and I think it's important that, for me, it was helping my students see themselves through the lens of the gospel, not the lens of culture, not the lens
mm,
of their generational curse, or just what's been going on in their block, man. And
yeah,
so for me, we would always try to expose our students to various things. Dare to Share, Student Leadership University.
mm,
We would do a lot of mission trips, even if they were like local mission trips,
yeah,
to say, hey, man, even though you feel like a castaway, throwaway, or giveaway, or you feel, just dejected, or like, so helpless and hopeless, can I just tell you there's others who are even in worse situations than you are. And so trying to help
yeah,
our students, I always would say, Greg, that, I would tell my team, my volunteers, and my pay staff, we want to help expand every urban kid from having a single story perspective to a multiple story perspective. Meaning, we
mm,
just didn't want them to see themselves as a kid in Decatur, Georgia. We want them to see themselves as a person who, the Lord knew even before the foundation of the earth, before they were formed in their mother's womb, that He had a
yeah,
plan and a purpose for their life, and that there is life beyond what they
yeah.
see right now in their circumstances.